for the best. Oh, I think we are in action. I normally have terrible technical difficulties. Facebook Live does not normally like me, but we look okay. So I'm going to wait for people to hop on. I'm just checking something out. As you hop on, please say hello and tell me what part of the country I was going to say you're calling from, where you're Facebooking from. It is dead on 8 o'clock. So if it is not 8 o'clock UK time where you are watching me on replay. So I am no longer live. Hi. We're just going to wait for the audience to build, ladies. So as you're coming in, tell me where you're coming from. Tell me what you've been up to. I may not have particularly done my hair for you tonight or my makeup, but I did get my nails done for you. Well, kind of for California, but what do you think? Do you like? So I had these done today. I've never had matte before, so this is a new concept for me, but I think I pretty love them. What do we reckon? Like pretty colours, isn't it? They don't look so good when I'm doing that. Facebooking from Huddersfield. Not a place I've ever been. Hey everybody. I'm waving as if you can wave back to me. Hi. Oh, it's not sunny Rotherham. Yes. I'm Facebooking from not sunny Bristol. It is cold down here. So, oh, real inspiration. Thank you. I just saw the not sunny bit and got carried away from that. Hey, ladies. How long have we been on? I'm going to give it another minute and then I'm going to get cracking. Have we all got notebooks ready? I'm hoping that I will give you some value to write something down, but I definitely am giving you a challenge. So if nothing else, you're going to need to write that down. But I am hoping that you'll gain something from this and you'll need to make notes. So fingers crossed, notebooks at the ready. So this is a presentation that I actually did at a training event in Ireland. Never done it before. And it went down really, really well. So, yeah, thought I'd do it again. Now, they all had really pretty slides to look at, which you ladies don't have. So you ladies are going to have to use your imagination. We may even be using the odd little filter to put this point across, although there's not many girly filters on here. So we will see. We will see. Oh God, whenever I press anything, I don't know how to get back. Ah! Right, okay. So we're going to start then. So all aboard the sponsoring station. Woo woo! I hope you're doing this in your front room right now. Woo woo! Dog's looking at me like I've gone mad. Let me just tell you a little secret before I start. So my husband's a train driver. So for ages, I'd be like fascinated with the whole like woo woo that on the train, and then one day he turned to me and he's like, I get to do that noise all the time. And I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, I get to press the horn, they call it the horn, all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like the best thing, you're like my hero, no wonder I'm gonna marry you. And then he shattered my life, because whenever I hear the noise woo woo, I automatically want to do this. I don't know if I'm weird, but that is what I think, okay? And my husband then told me, right, that when he does his woo wooing, it's a button and he just does that. Woo woo, it's just not the same. Woo woo, I can't say it in the same woo woo woo, it's gotta be that, isn't it? So yeah, anyway, totally nothing to do with sponsoring, but I'm going to get to it, I promise you. But I just had to tell you that little kid-related story. So, kid-related? No, train-related stories, because I read the word kid then. I should turn comments off, I'm terrible. Okay. So when we join Unique, it is without a doubt a journey, okay? And it's such a cheesy word, isn't it? But it is a journey. And it is our journey to wherever we want to go, really. But I think ultimately to success, and success means different things to different people. It could mean what colour status, it could mean a certain amount that you're gonna earn, it could mean a certain accolade that you achieve, it could mean how many people you have in your team. So it absolutely varies, but I think it's fair to say that everybody's journey is for success, okay? So on this journey, we've got the colour ranks of Unique, haven't we? Now, if we decide not to pick up any passengers on our journey and go it alone, what's the maximum colour we can reach in our compensation plan? So I know this is such a simple question, but I like an interactive audience. Got to say though, normally it's in a training room, so I can kind of see. There's not normally this awkward 40-second delay. Yes, absolutely. So I can see the answers starting to come in. So if we don't take any passengers with us, we ultimately can only get to yellow. So this is why I decided to talk about our sponsoring train, because we need passengers to be able to go any further than yellow. So the first thing I want to talk to you about tonight is we're going on a passenger hunt. So where are we going to find these passengers? So where are we going to find these sponsors so that we can move up the colour ranks? Now, again, ladies, I know that this is a very simple question for you amazing leaders in here. I'm going to give you a head start. One of the challenges that I'm going to give you is to go and reproduce this training in your own way with your team groups. So I'm kind of training it a little bit as if it's for them as well as for you ladies, so that you've got that same thing that you can kind of go back to. So give me some, everywhere is absolutely right, but give me some specific places where we can find sponsors. Tell me where you've got your sponsors from. Give me some ideas and I will give you some ideas back. So customers, I could talk about that subject all day long. Absolutely. So customers, without a doubt, are probably one of the #1 ways into sponsoring. Virtual parties, absolutely. I cannot think of a better reason for holding online parties. Here's the thing, right? If you get, from a virtual party, if you get 1,000 in PRS, no further party bookings, and no sponsors from it, is that a successful party? And that's the kind of mindset that we want to switch with our teams, is that they feel like online parties are about PRS. And I don't know about you ladies, but I feel like online parties are about contacts. You know, I would, at the end of the day, my next Black Status leader might be hiding in an online party. So yeah, I totally agree. Oh my God, look at all these amazing places. I know you're going to be jotting these down. So baby groups, absolutely. Your VIP group, friends and family, mums, your cold market, buy and sell sites, your workplace. Okay, so is it safe to say that we know exactly where to pick up these passengers from? So we're on our train. We know that we're going for success. That is our destination, is success. We're going on this journey. We know we need to pick up passengers along the way. And we have an amazing list here of all the places where we can find these passengers. Now, what I want to do is I just want to share with you the type of passengers that you're going to come across. Because actually, if you have ladies on your team that are struggling with sponsoring, if you are personally struggling with sponsoring, I don't believe it's because you don't know where to get them from. I believe it could be because sometimes the type of passengers that we come across. So Will all potential passengers want to go to the same place as you? Absolutely not. So I want to first introduce you to Not For Me Nancy, okay? So we'll see if we can pop on a little filter. So what does Not For Me Nancy look like? Obviously, Not For Me Nancy is going to look like a unicorn, I think. So here we go. Nice to meet you. My name's Nancy. So, Not For Me Nancy. This is the person or the people that you try and get on board your train, and you absolutely know that they would be amazing. You know that this is for them, and they don't want to. And it doesn't matter what you say, they stay on the platform and you're on your train going, woo, woo. And Nancy's going, no, no, not for me, not for me. Now, here's the thing about Not For Me Nancy. Two things about Not For Me Nancy. Number one, is it fair to say that Nancy might potentially want to get on board your train one day? Yeah, I think so. And is it safe to say that not everybody is Nancy? So imagine if you stop your train at that platform and go, oh, that's it. Nancy didn't want to get on my train. I'll just stay right here. I'll just park my train here. I won't go any further because Nancy don't want to get on. And that's sometimes, I think, not what you girls do, because you would not be where you are if it wasn't for what you've achieved. But I think some people on our team, they get those knockbacks, they get those no's, and they go, oh, well, it's not working. I can't get anyone aboard my train. However, there are more people that are coming on board our train. So the next one I want to introduce you to is Toe on Tina, okay? I reckon that you all might recognise Toe on Tina. And tell me if you recognise Toe on Tina. So, oh, there's Toe on Tina. There she is. So, Toe on Tina is the person that goes, oh my God, yes, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm joining on payday. Oh, count me in. And I'm going to go to the top. What happens when payday comes round? Oh, yeah. Bet you've all met a Toe on Tina. Oh, I'm going to join. Oh, no, actually, I don't think it's for me. Oh, I'm definitely going to join. I'm all in. No, no, no. Sorry, I'm skint this month. So, has anybody had a Toe on Tina? Gotta love Tina's headwear, right? Has anyone had a Toe on Tina in their life? That person who says that they're going to come on board and they don't, and they do, and they don't, and they do. Because I know I've had plenty of Toe on Tinas, and I know that you ladies know how to cope with that. But I feel like this is the things in the team, you know, they don't necessarily know how to cope with that. Has anybody got anybody in their team that they know pursues Toe on Tina to the end? So that means they're aboard their train, right? So they've dealt with Not For Now Nancy, so they're cool with her. So they're going along, woo woo, and they get to Toe on Tina on the platform. And they stay parked on that platform, speaking to Toe on Tina forever, waiting for Tina to get on board this train. Now, how many people are they missing because the train's still not going? So that is Toe on Tina, and that is just part of this industry, okay? So Not For Now Nancy. It is safe to say that she might come on board later on. Toe on Tina, it's safe to say that at some point she might come on board. But Toe on Tina does not speak for everybody, does she? Because there is another passenger that I would like to introduce you to. So we are going to call her One Stop Wonder, okay? Oh! One Stop Wonder seems to be some sort of space woman. Not use this filter filter before, in case you can't tell. Oh dear, God, take it off. I'll never keep a straight face. So funny. Right, that's One Stop Wonder for you. Okay, let me tell you about One Stop Wonder. One Stop Wonder comes on board. She joins when she says she's going to join. She tells you she wants this. She wants pink. She wants blue. She wants green. She's going to do it. She's going to do it. And then she goes missing in action. And you don't know where she is. She don't reply to anything. She doesn't talk to you. One Stop Wonder has got on your train and very quickly got off your train and has not really done anything. So has anybody experienced One Stop Wonder in their life, in their unique life, on their train journey? Because I have had plenty of girls hop on board and hop off again. That is One Stop Wonder, okay? And she is a passenger just like everybody else, okay? Now, imagine if One Stop Wonder gets on our train and we're like, oh my God, that's it. Woo, woo. I've got a passenger. I'm going to the top. Here we go. And we don't pick up any more passengers because we've got One Stop Wonder. Wonder's getting off at the next stop. So that means we're buggered. Can I say buggered? I don't know. Doesn't it? So we can't just pick up One Stop Wonder and then go, oh my God, made. I'm such a winner at this. And I think sometimes people do that. So that's One Stop Wonder. Are we ready for another one? Okay. So next one we have got is, she's a little bit manly because I don't have any other filters on this. So ladies, I would like to introduce you to Hopping Hilda. Hopping Hilda is somebody that comes on board and she just seems to hop on and off your train. So she might be somebody in your team that's pink. She might be somebody in your team that is blue. She might be somebody in your team that is yellow. It doesn't matter what colour she is. She's probably a mum or probably got a job. So what I mean by this is that Hopping Hilda, no matter what you do with her, is not going to turn into your next elite, okay? However, she is there. She hops on and off. So that is Hopping Hilda. And is it safe to say that Hopping Hilda, we cannot get to the top, we cannot get to success with a train full of Hopping Hildas? So you see where I'm going with this, ladies. I've got one more person that I want to introduce you to. Got one more person that I want to introduce you to, but you can see where this is going. This is about, we have to continually sponsor because we get trains full of these people. And I think sometimes we get caught up on thinking like, oh my God, I've got a train full. But actually, if we've got Hopping Hilda, if we've got One Stop Wonder, we've got trains full of those, we still need to continue. So one more for you then. Okay, here we go. Oh, she is special. So this is All the Way Annie. So All the Way Annie is your rock star. All the Way Annie is your first elite, your next elite. She is the reason that our compensation plan is the way that it is. So here's the thing. We are looking for All the Way Annie on our journey to success. We love an All the Way Annie, right? Makes me want to wink when I say All the Way Annie. So yeah, we want All the Way Annie. However, if your next goal, for example, is purple status, is it enough to have one All the Way Annie? No, you need 2 for purple. You need 4 for black status. You need 8 for black status 1. So your whole journey with Unique is based around sponsoring, and it's coming across these different passengers and knowing that it's okay and teaching this to your team, because like I said, girls, you know this, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But I feel like our girls get caught up on Toe on Tina, or they get really disappointed when Hoppin' Hilda hops off their train forever, and then they cry a little tear, and it stops them from continuing that sponsoring journey. The thing is as well, is with all of those people, the only person that's staying on that train with you is all the way Annie, right? So all the way, I've just got to try and get rid of this a minute. Get rid of me filters. There we go. So all the way Annie is the only person that's staying on that train with you. So as your train goes round the track, guess what? You've got to keep that train topped up all of the time. So it's a continual effort to bring in sponsors and keep that train topped up, because if your train is not got any passengers, how far can you go? You can only get to the yellow platform. So for your train to get any further along the success line, you've got to continually keep it topped up, and we've already talked about how to do that. So just a few things on what to say and what not to say. And I think that you probably know this, ladies, but I just want to cover it with you. After I've covered this, I'm then going to cover what to do with new ladies. We'll then have any questions and answers, and then I'm done. So what to say. So I always say in the team, when you speak to a recruit, you want to have a little kiss. Mwah. So kiss, keep it short and simple. You want to use sort of the 3-sentence rule, no more than 3 sentences. Somebody comes to you and says, I want some more information, and then you go, blah, 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 then yeah, it's going to put them off. You want to always end with a question. So they come to you and say some more information. So you go, yeah, of course. What is it you want to know? So they then say something like, oh, well, how much is the kit going to cost? So then you're like, oh, we've got this amazing kit with so many products. Do you want to see it? So see what's in it. So you send them a kit list. I try and send them a kit list before I send them the price, because once you just hit somebody around the chops with £69, they don't know what the value is for them. They don't see what's in it for them. So I like to try and make sure before I give them the price, I tell them what's in it for them. So try and end with a question. If they, if you're talking about their family and how it's going to fit around their family, try and end with a question of, something like, well, it can be anything. It just depends how the conversation flows. But, that keeps the conversation going. It bats the ball back into their court. If you're not very confident, or your team, this is really important for your team, use a third-party tool. So use something. So I've got a joining video, which is on my YouTube channel, which you're all more than welcome to use. I can't remember if I mention our team name in there, but hopefully I don't. And then you are more than welcome to use it, because it's a generic video that gets people back to the person that sent it to them. So I encourage my team to send that video. So they say about more information. They say, have you got 5 minutes to watch a video? That person comes back and says yes. They then send that video and says, shall I check back in with you within the hour? That person then says yes. They then go back to that person and say, what did you like best about that video? And when that person tells them what they like best, that's the thing that you can cling on to. So they say, oh, I love how it fits around my family. Oh my God, I love how it fits around the family as well. It's just so important for me for it to be flexible. And I can see that's really important for you as well. Sounds like you're ready to go. Shall we get you started? So it's using that. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Remind me to talk about ice cream. Use a 3-way conversation. So if you've got the confidence to, and you've got ladies on your team that are speaking to a lot of women but not closing them and not turning them into sponsors, then have them come into a three-way conversation with you on Facebook Messenger. So she adds you in, she adds that girl she's talking to, and she says something like, oh, this is my upline, Yvonne, and Yvonne has been in the business for X amount of time, and I thought that she could just, you know, give an extra perspective for us. And then if you are Yvonne, you then go into there. So if, as the upline that's been added, you go into there and you say, so-and-so is so amazing, so lucky to be on her team. I'm really excited chatting with you. What is it about Unique that appeals to you? So you start asking the questions. So because you don't have any relationship with that sponsor, you can ask with that potential sponsor, you can ask her lots of questions and then you can close her down. So if you're experienced and good at converting sponsors, get your girls into three-way conversations. If you're not very good at those conversations, find somebody in this group that is, and, you know, accountability partner with them for a little while and share your skills, because it's, you know, it's only a matter of learning it. What not to say. So don't say too much. We've covered that. Don't say all about you. So definitely a story definitely sells, but you don't want it to be this massive long thing about everything that Unique has done for you, because invariably that girl, no offense, doesn't care about what it's done for you. She wants to know what it's going to do for her. And my last thing is about ice cream, okay? Assumptive benefits. So what I mean by this, okay, is I love ice cream. I love ice cream a lot. However, if I went into town tomorrow and they had this brand new ice cream seller thing, stall, and they were giving away free ice cream, and they were like, this is the best ice cream in the land, and they were giving away free tasters of coffee ice cream, they've lost me. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go and try the best ice cream in the land. And Unique is the best company in the land. But if we're only talking about one thing, one flavour, then potentially that might not be her flavour. What do I mean by this? In case you're like, why is she talking about ice cream? What I mean by this is I am not a mum. So if I came to you and said, hey, tell me about Unique. Tell me all about it. And you're like, oh my God, it's so flexible, so good around the kids. You can fit it around the children. I'm going to be like, oh, bye. I don't want to fit around the children. Or if you're a complete party person and you're like, oh my God, like, yeah, we go on cruises and we go here and we have these training events and, you know, we just meet up and we just love it. And I'm like, ooh, not really very social, then I'm going to be like, scared, don't want to join. So yes, Michelle, it kind of ties in colour personalities, but also what I want you to do, oh my God, I've given you an extra challenge. I'm writing it. That's 4 challenges I'm giving you when we get off of here. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to go and write a list of benefits of everything that is good about Unique. Because you need to know them all, not just the ones that really appeal to you. And I think we have this bias of what appeals to us, and that's the conversations that we have. So we need to make sure that we find out what they're about. So, you know, it's money, for example. I'm not particularly money orientated. So in fact, I'm one of those people that's like, awkward, talking about money, what? So for those that follow me on Facebook, you may notice I'm not big on the big attraction marketing posts. That's just doesn't sit with me. So if you came at me like, oh my God, you're going to earn like £1 million and you're so amazing and you can get to black status and they earn this and, you know, you can have all this money, all this, I would just be like, woo, not for me. So there we go. Hope that made sense about the ice cream. No, you've not missed the other 3 challenges. I'm going to be coming to you with them. So The really important thing about what I was talking about with sponsoring is that you keep your train topped up at all times. You need to always be asking for new passengers, and you need to really be sharing this with your team as well. You will not get an Annie every time at all. And that is okay, because do you know, Hoppin' Hilda is worth her weight in gold. And do you know what? Sometimes one stop wonder can hop on board your train and she can drag another few passengers with her before she hops off. And actually that passenger she gets on the train could be another Annie. So everybody has their different value. And people will get off your train along the way. So it's vital that you keep picking up as many as you drop off. Otherwise, your train's going to derail. Have any of you made that mistake? Have any of you had that where you've felt like your train is like, woo, woo, chugging along and the team's brilliant, and without really knowing it, you've gone into maintenance mode. So rather than stopping at platforms and picking up extra passengers, you're just like, woo woo, take me to the top, take me to the top. And suddenly you found out you've been losing passengers out the back end and your train's about to derail. Because that is really, really common. So if you can, you know, talk to your team about things like this, then that will really help with that. So we don't want any derailed trains. Okay. My final tip for you is here. Well, here's the thing, okay? Here's the amazing thing about all of this. Guess what? Okay? You are the only one on your tracks. You are the only one on this journey. There is your train and your train tracks. So it doesn't matter what any other train is doing. It doesn't matter what's happening on anyone else's tracks. Only you can derail your train. Only you can fill up your train. It is your entire journey. And I know we talk a lot about comparisons and how bad they are. And, you know, it just always remember that it doesn't matter what's happening with anyone. You know, if there's a train shooting ahead and getting to black status quicker, that's not going to stop your train from getting there just as quick. So that's the first thing about this. The second thing about this is make yours the fun train. So what I mean by this, and the next part of this training, is as people are getting aboard your train, they might not even know who they are. So they might get on that train and think they might be a one-stop wonder. And there is every possibility that you could turn them into a Hoppin' Hilda or an All the Way Annie by that new starter process. So here's what happens. Everybody gets aboard our train, right? And in the first 72 hours, they get aboard the train. So they're on that platform. The train pulls in. They're like, oh my God, I'm so excited to get on this journey. Yes, let's do this. They get on the train. They're like, yes. And then within 24 to 72 hours, they go from, oh my God, I'm so excited to, oh, no one's buying anything. And I just don't think this is for me. And that first 72 hours is absolutely key. So you start speaking to them and they're like, oh, I'm interested, or I'm really interested. Oh God, I think I'm definitely going to join. I'm going to join. I've joined. I'm so happy. This is amazing. Oh my God, my husband said something rubbish about it. My mum's just said this is a pyramid scheme. No one's bought anything and I've put up one post. I clearly can't do this. Oh my God, oh, I'm getting off. So it is our job as leaders to make sure that that first 72 hours aboard our train is amazing. So taking a step back from your business right now, have a think what it feels like as a new starter coming into your business. How friendly is it? How warm is it? How reassuring is it? How much contact is there? Are they sat at the back of the train wondering what all this is about in the cold, thinking the next time we stop it'd be easy for me to hop off? Or are they near the front of the train with everybody thinking, okay, no, I can do this? So I just want to talk you through the first 72 hours of a new starter and some ideas of things that I do. And this is going to form part of your challenge. So let me just bring up my notes for you on this subject. Now, we all have different training methods, okay? So in my team, we've got a Start Strong group. It's got a welcome post. It's got 4 videos and that's it. So it's very, very simple. And the idea is that they start in that Start Strong group and they watch those 4 videos, and then there's links to extra training groups after that. Where they can get loads more information, but so that from the very start that they get the information. Ideally, and they don't all do it because I see it, ideally what I try and say to the girls is send them the link to the group so that they join that group themselves. Do any of you remember when you joined, were you dumped into loads of groups? Did it feel really overwhelming? Or do you dump a lot of people into a lot of groups and maybe they feel overwhelmed? You've got to remember this girl's hopped on this train full of all these other passengers and she has no idea where this train's going. And to her, it's really rickety and it's scary. So I say send the link to the girls so that they can join that training group when they're ready with with a welcome message like, oh my God, you've joined, it's so exciting, here's where you're going to get your training. And I encourage the girls to let us know when they have watched those 4 videos, and then we do like a graduation well done. And that is really, really important because in their first 72 hours, I want you to imagine that they're a balloon, okay? And your job is to keep them puffed up. You want to keep that balloon floating in the air, okay? And one of the ways to puff them up is to have little wins straight away. So, you know, they watch 4 videos and then they get a well done post in our team group. Well done, so-and-so's graduated from Start Strong. Minnie Mouse is so amazing. She's just going to be brilliant. And then, you know, if they do their first like Facebook Live, oh my God, so-and-so's just gone live. So it's those small wins at the beginning that's really going to help keep that balloon up. Not only that, but with everybody that joins your business, now, you know who you can trust this process with, dependent on, so I've got strong blues that do this process, but in my circle, I do this with everybody, not just my directs. So it's up to us to, like I said, not just stick them on this train and then leave them to it. So we want to make sure that they understand the journey, but also what we don't want to do is overwhelm them with lots of messages. So imagine somebody joins and within, I don't know, let's just say they join in the morning and then at tea time, you sort of message them and go, hey babe, how you getting on? You need to watch the videos? Sometimes people take that as pressure because they're like, oh my God, no, I haven't watched the videos. Like there's 4 of them. I've got 3 kids running around. So they can, they can sometimes take that as a bit of pressure. Or even if you message out in a couple of days time to them and be like, how are you getting on? They're like, oh, how am I getting on? I've not sold anything. And you know I've not sold anything. And it's really obvious. That's what's going through their head. Because don't forget, they're not feeling great right now. They're full of self-doubt. In that first 72 hours, they have tons of excitement and enthusiasm, but they also have a lot of self-doubt. It is natural. So those are the thoughts that go through their head. So in the first 72 hours, what I do in my new starter process is add them to the groups and I explain to them what the groups are for, what's in it for them. So I don't just say, oh, this is our team group and this is where I post all the news and I post all the training. why do they care what I post? I tell them what's in it for them. This is our training group. This is where you're going to find all the help you need. You're going to be able to ask all the questions that you want. You're going to be able to access all our live trainings that we do. That's really going to help you make a success of this. I totally believe in you. So do you see the difference between the two ways that you're giving them that information about just the groups that you're adding them to? The next thing that I do, so let's just say they join in the morning, okay? So let's just say they've joined this morning. So that's what I do. Later on in the afternoon, I just check in with them and just ask them if I didn't uncover it fully when they were joining, or if they're not my direct sponsor, I try and uncover like, oh, I just wonder, babe, could you let me know a little bit about, you know, you, why you did this, your family? It'd be really useful for me to uncover what you want to get out of this so that I can help you get what you need out of this. Because here's the thing, there's no good me pushing this girl to be the next Black status leader in my team if at the moment she wants 20 quid out of it. I'm much better to tie in with what she needs out of it, and then obviously that confidence grows. So the next day, so she joined today, so she's been added to our Start Strong group. Well, she hasn't been added, sorry. I've sent her the link to the Start Strong group. She's been added to the team group, and I've told her why. I found out a little bit about why she does it later on in the conversation. The next morning, I drop her a message, and I tell her about personal development. Ask her if she ever heard of it. Tell her why it's so important. Tell her, you know, about the people that have got to the top. And I point her in the direction of resources for personal development. Later on that afternoon, I check in with her and I do a colour match with her. So I love this side of it because it's just so like, you know, it's no pressure on her. I'm not asking her how she's getting on. Has she wrote a 100 list? All those things. But it's leading to that. So I check in with her and I ask her and I do a colour match with her. So I find out what colour foundation she is and I find out what colour BB cream she is. And that means a couple of things. Firstly, she's potentially going to order that. So that means that that's her first bit of PRS. Secondly, I teach her how to do it while I'm doing it with her, just over a copy and paste post. So this doesn't take any time. It's just copy and paste posts. And then I challenge her to go and colour match 5 of her closest friends and also put a colour match status on her wall saying, it goes something like, oh, I'm like being challenged today to do 20 free colour matches for my training. Like, who can help me out? Here's the thing. So then I send her all the colour match stuff and I also send her pictures about how good our foundation is. These conversations, these free colour matches, they're building up her confidence. She's having conversations with people, but then they are also potentially turning into sales. So it's just confidence. She's involved in the industry right away, even if they're not turning to sales straight away. And she's also seed planting those ideas. And not once have I made her feel pressured. Not once have I made her feel like, what is she doing? Then later on again that night, I check in with her and I let her know when our next training's coming up. So in our team, we do training on Tuesdays. We do training on Thursdays and we do a new starter Q&A on a Monday. So depending on what day she's joined, I'll just be like, oh, babe, I've just remembered our next live training is tomorrow and so-and-so's do it. And I think you'd really love it. So I'm telling her again what's in it for her. And then she plugs into that. And when she plugs into a live, she feels connected. She starts to feel that family team thing. Okay, next day. So we are now on day 3, okay? I check in with her in the morning and I let her know the kudos. My message goes something like, oh my God, silly me, I totally forgot to tell you about our kudos this month. Have you seen it on your website? Yes or no? Depending on what her answer is, depends on how the conversation goes. I then let her know about the kudos, let her know every month, and I give her ideas for how to sell this month's kudos. So that, again, that's something she can use. That day, she's got a little focus on what she can do. Later on in that afternoon, I then check up with her. How are you getting on with those videos? Have you managed to watch the 4 new starter videos? Have you got any questions? So now imagine, so this is now day 3 that I'm asking her this, and I've already had 5 or 6 previous conversations with her. So now when I ask her how she's doing with those training videos, it doesn't feel pressured. It doesn't feel like I'm checking in on her. It doesn't feel, you know, any of those things. I will tell you, invariably, they tell me that earlier. It's only really the girls, it's only one stop wonder, really, at this point that perhaps hasn't still done those training videos. Because normally these girls are engaged and they're doing it. What I do later then is I check in with a suggested list of people to follow. So I'll just send her a message and be like, oh, I've just seen a post from so-and-so on my news feed. I follow her because I love her stuff. And then I'll give her a list of people that I think are inspirational and do great posts for her to follow, and suggest that maybe she puts them as see first. And then later on that night, I check in with her and I talk to her about launch parties, home parties, and I ask her if she's got her kit. And then we talk through application tips. So sometimes they've got their kit depending on where she signed up and how the 72 hours have fallen. Sometimes she's had an email to say it's been dispatched, and so if she's had it, we'll talk about what she likes so far, what she's tried. If she hasn't, we'll talk about her favourite products, the things that she's looking forward to. I'll point her in the direction of YouTube videos for makeup tips, so that by the time she gets that kit, or as she starts to play with that kit, she feels some confidence. So then what happens is that girl gets transferred from a list of girls that are within their first 72 hours to a list of girls that are within their first 30 days. And within the first 30 days, I try and make sure that I sort of touch base every 2 days. Not PMing necessarily, but whether it be just to have a look at her profile, you know. And within that 30 days, she will generally develop into either a chicken or an eagle, and you'll know where you are with her. But I feel, I don't know about you ladies, but I feel that new starter process, you imagine, I feel like it's the difference between them being at the front of your train, surrounded by loads of supportive people with a nice hot chocolate in their hand, looking at a beautiful view, feeling like the world's going to be okay. That's how I see that new starter process, with someone holding their hand, compared with being they've got on at the platform at the back of the train, and they're rattling around on their own thinking, I don't know what I'm doing, there's just so much, there's so many carriages, how do I walk through all the carriages, I'm really scared to walk through all the carriages. So that's what I feel the difference is. And that was my final bit of training for you girls. So there we go. The only other thing, I found one more thing to talk about. I'm sorry that this is so long. I always think, oh, I'll only be 20 minutes. Who am I kidding? So the Not For Now book, I cannot recommend enough Not For Now. And encouraging your girls to do the same, because just because Not For Now Nancy isn't for now, it doesn't mean she won't be in the future. Some of you know my story. So when I joined Unique, I messaged 600 people outright and was just like, joining this company, it's all amazing, I'm super excited. You can either join my team, or you can book a party with me, or you can buy a product from me. What do you want to do? It was like that. It was kind of like that. Slightly spammy maybe, but hey. So I did that. 585 people said no or ignored me, and 15 people said yes. However, out of those 585, there has been a lot of people that have come on board since. I've personally sponsored a lot of people. I've lost track. 140 people? No, more than that. 160. I've personally sponsored maybe 160. I've personally sponsored a lot of people. So that 15 grew. And it was because that I planted that seed. So a Not For Now book, it can just be any notebook, and you just want to write down people that you're speaking to and what they say, because that gives you imagine somebody you spoke to 2 years ago and do you think that potentially their circumstances might have changed? I'll give you a really good example. My best friend, this time last year, was living in my house, having split up from a long-term relationship, had nowhere to live. I'd been living at my house for 6 months, right? A year later, exactly a year later, she is getting married on the 14th of May, and she is currently 14 weeks pregnant. That is how much her life has turned around in a year. Would she have wanted to join Unique back then? Not necessarily. Her life was a mess. However, now she's expecting a baby. So, you know, that Not For Now book, and here's the reason why I know that Not For Now book is absolutely one of the most important tools you can keep. I used to do Ann Summers before I did this. And I did Ann Summers for 8 years, I think it was. And I didn't keep one. So when I came to Unique, I had bought into the business, into the Ann Summers business. I'd bought 600 women into the Ann Summers business, let alone all the people that I'd spoke to. I'd probably spoke to 5,000 women over my 8 years about joining Ann Summers, and I never wrote them down anywhere. So what a fool, what an idiot. Please learn from my mistakes. So that's why I know a Not For Now book is important. I'm telling you, in your life it will become so important, because what's happening right now, that's not how the situation is going to stay. So you can go back to those people, and you can go back to those people without being a stalker. Okay, right, ladies, are we ready for our challenges? Are we ready? Okay, so I've got 4 challenges for you now. So when I get off this live, I'm going to put a post up, and I'm going to write down what the challenges are on that post. And then below in the comments, you can then write the answers to the challenges, okay? So challenge number 1, you can do it on this live if you want to, but once I put that post up, I want you to tell me what you've got from this, okay? So I would love to know what you've got from this. So that's challenge number 1. Number 2, I want you to go away and I want you to create your new starter process and share it. So I've told you mine, and there's nothing wrong with using my ideas, but I know you ladies, you're amazing. That's why you're in this group. So I bet there's more that you can add to this, or ways that you might like to tweak it that's more authentic to your team. And also, when I say go and create your new starter process, so what I'd pulled up on my phone when I was reading it out to you was a document, and I go to that document every time a new person joins so that I don't forget it. So I want you to create I want it in a notebook and a picture of it in a notebook that you always keep, that you always have with you. So it could be in the front of your Not For Now book. It could be in front of your Presenters Pro diary. Or I want it to be on, if you use your phone, wherever it is, show me where this process is, so I know you're always going to follow an amazing new starter process. And as your girls come on board this train, they're going to be sat there with their hot chocolate with whipped cream on. Challenge number 3, I want you to post, when I put the this post up, in the comments, I want you to tell me what date you're going to do this training with your team. Because you could save this video, you could show this video to your team, and I absolutely think, yes, they would gain stuff from it, but try and do it and relay it to them. You know your team better than anything, and they really relate to you. So I want you to book a date in when you're going to do that sponsoring training with them, and go through, tell on Tina, tell them all about One Stop Wonder, introduce them for not for now Nancy, and make them aware that it's okay to have Hopping Hilda. So I want you to introduce them to those characters. And the new starter process, it depends. You probably only want to do that with really high performing blues, because that new starter process is for you to do it with everybody, not just your directs, so that you build a strong train. Okay. And number 4, I did this random add-on, didn't I? I want you to list 10 benefits of being with Unique, so that you're not just feeding your potential sponsors with all the things that you think are important, which is natural. It's natural to do that. I have to be very conscious to remember about the mum side of it, because we pretty much talk to a lot of mums. And if I don't talk about that, then I'm going to alienate all those women. So that is challenge number 4. Okay, so there we go, girls. I am open for questions. So if I can answer any questions. I did see 2 pop up, which I'll quickly answer, which is, where is my joining video? So that's on my YouTube channel, which is under Kizzy Harvey. And somebody asked what was in my 4 new starter training videos. They're also on my YouTube channel and they are public. So please feel free to go and have a look on there. So the 10 things is 10 benefits of joining Unique, just so that you remember the varied things that we've got going for us, rather than just your biased. So there's not just coffee flavour ice cream. There is also mint choc chip. There is also vanilla. There is also banana. Okay. Any other questions, my lovelies? If, for example, you're down from your black by 2 or 3 team pages, how do you handle that with your elites and your newbies? Oh, Ali, that is such a good question. So, in theory, a new starter should be in 1 black status page and 1 elite page. Otherwise, it can definitely become overwhelming. But I think what you need to do is give the lady the choice. So, I've got some really successful long legs in the business. And what I say to them is, don't whack them into all 5 elite groups. Is whack them into your elite group, whack them into our black status group. And then give them the choice and just say, look, these are our other upline elites and these are their pages. If you want to be in their pages, you're more than welcome. I hope that made sense. I hope that was what you were asking. Woo woo! Come on, girls, give me a woo woo. How long do you have someone on your friends and build the relationship before you approach them? Oh, Michelle. So good question. That is a bone, not bone of contention, but so here's the thing. I'm going to come out and say it. I'm Sally Spammer. So look, my messages aren't spammy. I always make sure that there is a bit of humor in there. I always make sure that they are short, light-hearted. But here's how I feel about this opportunity. I feel like, who am I to judge whether my friend Minnie Mouse on my Facebook, who I don't know, wants to do this or not? The only way I can know is if I ask her. And what if I don't ask her at the right time and I miss out? Or what if she misses out? Most importantly, what if I don't ask her at the right time and she misses out? So I'm not much of a relationship. Hide behind my hair. I'm not much of a relationship builder. But the messages that I send, like I say, are really a really good one. You can send is asking for referrals, but really you're kind of letting them know that something amazing is happening. So yeah, hope that makes sense. Do you work one-to-ones with your one-stop wonders or focus on your eagles? I focus on my eagles. So I do an entry task for those that want to go for pink. And if they don't do the entry task, they don't get into kind of like a pink building block group. Once they're in that pink building block group, they're on my list of people that can have one-to-ones. But what I do make sure I do is I do make sure that I do team lives and that we have a lot of regular weekly training, so that maybe that person can just, at least she can tap into that. At least there's a buffet cart on the train that she could go to if she so wishes. Okay, I'm scrolling, girls, I'm scrolling. Do I send a new starter email over? No, I do not. No. Doesn't mean it doesn't work though. Don't know. Maybe try 10 of your new recruits with it, 10 without. See if you notice a difference. Then let me know if I'm missing a trick. Woo woo. Okay. Oh, I'm going to be known as Sally Spammer now, aren't I? Oh dear. What's the task? So there's four tasks. I'm going to put a post up, and on that post, I want you to tell me what you got from this. Number 1. Number 2, I want you to create your new starter process in a place you're going to keep forever, in a checklist format, so that you know what you're doing with each new starter. Oh, entry task. Oh, look, see, thanks. There we go. Entry task is watch a video and then I ask them some questions. I was going to repeat all the challenges then. Good stuff. Good job you stopped me in my tracks. In my tracks. See what I did there? Yeah, so I give them a video to watch and yeah, ask them some questions on it to make sure that they've watched it. So I struggled to seal the deal on tempted sponsors. I've read GoPro. Any more tips? What I would do, Yvonne, and I can say this because you're obviously in my downline, but I would screenshot me some conversations that you're having, how it's sort of ending. We probably just need to tweak what you're saying ever so slightly. So if any of you are in that position where you're struggling to seal the deal, send them to your Black Status upline, get her to have a quick look over. Generally, it's just a tweaking of words. You're probably just being maybe woolly at the end and just being like, oh, you know, how does that sound? How does that sound even mean? We need to go in direct with a close. We need to go in with a, sounds like you're ready to get going. I'll send you my link. Let's get you started. Things like that. Okay. We are gradually diminishing in numbers, so I'm guessing we're coming to an end. Oh, bless the train spotter. Do you tell a team to make their own opportunity video when they feel confident? Do you check their videos out if they have trouble sponsoring? Jennifer, I actually don't. And the reason being is there is something psychological about a third party. So when I recruit somebody, I don't necessarily always send them my recruiting video because there's something about third party validation where so you're talking to this new person, for example, and so they're like, well, of course Jennifer's going to tell me it's amazing. She wants me to join. But when they've got somebody else that is also passionate about it, then they start to think, oh, maybe there's something in this. So I encourage it to be not them, actually, quite the opposite. Okay. Yvonne, the other thing as well about sealing the deal, you know, 80% of people say no, and then 12% say, no, that doesn't make 80%, 88%. So only around 12% will ask you for more information. And then out of that 12%, you'll only convert 1 to 2%. So it might be just your expectation of numbers. Do I work with my one-stop wonders or just my Annies? So that's really, really hard. So the first 72 hours and the first 30 days, I work with those girls. And then I have a Think Pink group and they have to do an entry task to get into that group. And then I work with them. And obviously I work with my leaders, my pinks, my blues. So I don't just dismiss anyone really. I think that my team group, there's a lot that goes on my team group so that they can connect with it at any point if I'm not individually working with them. So, perfect. Okay, ladies, I reckon we might be done then. If you've got any more questions, I'm going to love you and leave you because I've been over an hour. Talk about hogging. But yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you then. And if you do have any more questions, then please feel free to reach out to me. Drop me a message. Bear in mind that Sunday I go to Gatwick, ready for Black Status Retreat. I currently have not shaved my legs, ironed my clothes, wrote my training because I come back from Black Status Retreat and then go to Leanne's training and I've not submitted my slides to her, so I'm going to be in trouble for that. I've got to pack my husband. Well, I've got a great big long list of things that I've got to do. There it is. There's the list of things I've got to do before I go away. So if I am slow getting back to you, please know that it's not because I don't care. And I will absolutely get back to you. I would never ignore anybody. It's just I'm getting pushed for time. And you might have to wait till I've got some Wi-Fi when I get to America. So yes, there we go. Oh, I'm glad you loved it, girls. Thank you so much for having me. It has been such a pleasure. You have been absolutely wonderful. And I am your biggest cheerleader for your success. And yeah, thank you so much. Mwah.